So this weekend in Sky Bet League One, it's a biggie. Sheffield Wednesday take on Plymouth Argyle in what some people are calling an early title decider. Second versus first. Sheffield Wednesday are currently 3 points behind Plymouth with a game in hand. Of course, Wednesday have also conceded the least number of goals compared to any other club in the division. As for Plymouth, they've scored the second most amount of goals compared to any other club. 51 goals they've scored in total. When it comes to unbeaten records, it's also quite interesting as well. Plymouth unbeaten in their last 8 League One matches. As for Sheffield Wednesday, currently on a 19-game unbeaten run, only losing once in their last 22. And then when looking at the heads-to-head, the last time Plymouth beat Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough, of course, where the game is being played on Saturday, it was in 2011, a 4-2 victory for Argyle on the day. Really, really interesting. Got to go a little bit further back to see the last time Plymouth beat Sheffield Wednesday at the venue, of course. This will be taking place on Saturday afternoon. Let's have a little look at the last time these two clubs met this season, only a couple of months ago. So in the last game playing against each other, it finished Plymouth Argyle 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Some interesting talking points to take from that game. On the ball, Plymouth were in complete control, ending the match with 59% possession and a total of 24 shots. Interestingly, Plymouth only had an XG of 0.62 and Sheffield Wednesday had the better of the chances. The Argyle keeper Michael Cooper, what a goalkeeper by the way, was on fire on the day, made multiple brilliant saves and actually won man of the match. I think Plymouth proved in this game but also across the season they're extremely clinical and take multiple chances that other clubs don't convert. You can see here by looking at the graph. This graphic shows the highest chance conversion rates of all clubs in League One. Plymouth have the third best with a 54.17 conversion rate. You can actually see Sheffield Wednesday are much lower, hovering around mid-table with 38.30%. So I think in a broader way, Steven Schumacher's side are proving they're developing a vital mentality to win at all costs. I mean, look at their league position. We mentioned in a previous video, Sheffield Wednesday, we deep dived on their campaign so far. I think Darren Moore, the players there are also installing quite a similar trait, winning, taking those chances and grinding out results. Plymouth, Sheffield Wednesday both do that very, very well. Winning at all costs, playing against each other. This has all the ingredients to be a really, really good game, I feel. So I think it's fair to say there's going to be plenty of players to watch during this game. I've highlighted one for each club to keep an extra lookout for. Sheffield Wednesday, Josh Windass, recently been in exceptional form and constantly looking like a goal threat, but also a creative genius as well. He can play as a shadow striker behind the front two, but also has the ability to play and lead the line. He has 5 goal contributions in the last 4 games, including a hat-trick against Cambridge United in that 5-0 win, and a double against Newcastle in that shock FA Cup win. Really, really impressive stuff. And also, if you watch the Newcastle game, the finishes from Josh Windass were absolutely brilliant, so clinical and very, very important. On top of that, he's created 8 big chances, averaging 1.4 key passes per 90. He's a creative spark. He's a deadly goal threat. What more could you want? He's been huge trouble for so many defenders in the league anyway. I think he's going to be one to sort of really, really look out for in this match. As for Plymouth, I've gone with Finn Azaz. Azaz has recently had an incredible impact after returning from injury a few weeks ago, picking up 3 assists in the last 2 games. His numbers altogether this season have been mind-blowing, recording 6 goals and 6 assists in 14 starts. 12 goal contributions, equally spread across 14 starts. That's not bad. The creative midfielder has also averaged 2.1 key passes per 90 with 2 shots per 90 as well. So he's a goal threat. He certainly can cause problems, but also as well, he can create things. And that again, similar to Josh Windass, could be quite interesting. He truly does have the ability to create goals and dictate a game in the attacking area. He can drop deeper and help Plymouth out in the midfield, in the centre of the field. He could be that spark that Plymouth will need to get anything from this game. He showed this season he's a massive, massive part. If he's fit, if he's ready to go, which we expect he will be, I think Finn Azaz is going to cause Sheffield Wednesday a lot of problems and be huge for Plymouth in this game. So where is this game won? I truly believe, and it's very, very cliche in football, the game is won in that midfield. In a minute, we'll have a little look at some predicted lineups and some lineups that I'd go with, but you can see the midfield is a really, really interesting talking point. Playing very similar systems this season, who's going to earn the right to play? We sort of hear that quite a lot with managers, but who's going to have the licence to play through the middle and dictate the game through the centre of the field? With both Barry Bannan and George Byers coming off the bench in Sheffield Wednesday's tie against Fleetwood in the FA Cup last weekend, that does suggest they're both now getting back to full fitness and could earn themselves a really important starting spot in the game on Saturday. With the box-to-box nature of George Byers, the creative attributes that Barry Bannan does possess, they could be the deciders, they could be the key factors in this match. With 10 direct goal involvements to Barry Bannan's name this season, winning the midfield battle probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Of course, much easier said than done from a Plymouth perspective, but I still feel stopping the source, locking the midfield down and winning that battle could be key. I think crucial in winning this game. Of course, Plymouth, they do have multiple options. Randall, Houghton, Matete, Butcher can all play in that central area, but ensuring they have the most suitable pair playing in this game could be crucial. In fact, let's have a little look at the lineups that I'd go with in this match for both clubs. So this is what I've gone with. These are the two lineups that I'd select if I was in the position of Stephen Schumacher and Darren Moore on Saturday afternoon. We'll start off by running through the 11s. Dawson in goal for Sheffield Wednesday. Flint, Iorfa and Palmer making up that back three. Johnson at left wing back. Hunt at right wing back. Volks, Byers and Bannan making the three in midfield. Quite interchangeable. We'll come on to the midfield of Sheffield Wednesday and Plymouth. As mentioned, the midfield is where I think this game is won and lost. And Smith and Windass leading the line for Wednesday. As for Plymouth Argyle, Cooper in goal, Wilson, Scar. I'm going to go Nigel. He's got a really good second name. Can't pronounce it. Nigel will do, I think. Sorry, mate. Mumba at left wing back. That you're watching. Edwards at right wing back. Randall and Matete making up that crucial pair in midfield. Azaz and Wright behind Ryan Hardie leading the line. Of course, Ryan Hardie is not joining Oxford United. You wouldn't know that reference if you didn't watch the stream yesterday. But that is, I think, a really, really strong lineup for both clubs. You can see why we have got first and second going head-to-head on Saturday. Some really, really good lineups there. You can see also on the left and the right-hand side, the green and the blue, surprisingly, the substitutes, or I'm going to go with the most helpful substitutes, I think, in the system that I want these two sides to play when looking at more the attacking options and in the middle. There are, of course, lots of names I haven't put together, but I think these sort of make sense when I'm sort of breaking down a couple of substitutes that I think could make quite a big impact in the game on Saturday. So I'm going to start off with the midfield, actually. I'm going to start off with Volks, Byers and Bannan, because people will be saying normally Bannan and Byers can play as a two. Windass can play, as I mentioned earlier, as that shadow striker behind the two in a number 10 role. And then you can almost play another striker and add another attacking number in there. I think in this game, for a couple of reasons, I probably would go with Bannan, Byers and Volks to three, and then allow Smith and Windass to play as a front two. Windass can drop deeper. Smith is that more out-and-out striker, I'd say, although he can play with the back to goal, but I think Windass can drop a little bit deeper. I'd say Windass, to be fair, I think it's really, really quite interesting to see what these two strikers might do together, leading the line. But I think Windass can drop deeper because he is naturally someone that can play in that sort of zone 14 role. Windass can come and almost play that, not target man role, but that sort of focal point in the system. But I think with the both of them together, that could be quite interesting, causing the likes of Wilson, Scar, and Nigel, my friend Nigel, I imagine some problems, as they have done for many opposition throughout the season so far. And then looking at the midfield, like at Byers, Bannan and Volks, right now, I don't think you can drop Volks. I think when Byers and Bannan have been injured, he stepped up, he really has made an impact. I think dropping someone like Volks right now would be really, really harsh. And I think in a game like this, they are going to be under pressure, although Sheffield Wednesday, I come on to my prediction and sort of the home advantage playing quite a big part in this game. I do think that, especially at Hillsborough, always a really good atmosphere there. They do have that extra edge. I still feel though an extra number defensively in this game with the players, of course, they've got playing against them, it could be sensible. I think would be a sensible thing to do. So I've gone with Volks, a couple of reasons, tactically, but also based on form. Like I say, Byers and Bannan have been out, but he stepped up really, really well. He has stepped up well. I look at his goal against Wycombe, but his general performance against Wycombe was really, really good. I think we're seeing a better and better Volks now, as he's now playing on a more regular basis. So dropping him, I think would be slightly silly. I'd go with Byers as that box-to-box and Bannan as that more attacking midfielder in the three. I think you've got a really good balance there. it comes back to balance. I think Bannan almost playing as that more advanced player. And like I said there, do you need Windass to drop a little bit deeper? When you're in possession, you probably don't, because you've got Bannan sort of in that number 10 role, and then you've got Volt can push up higher, but Byers that more box-to-box. You saw his heat map in the video, by the way, Sheffield Wednesday fans. If you're watching this and didn't watch the video I did a couple of days ago, weeks ago now really, I sort of looked at Sheffield Wednesday in more detail. We highlighted Byers and Bannan. Byers is that more box-to-box player. He can play box-to-box. And I think in this type of game as well, that could be really, really helpful, especially with Volks behind him. He's got that licence. He's got that licence to go forward. And Bannan also. I think allowing players like Byers and Bannan to have the licence could be huge. And in an attacking sense, could make the difference. No real surprise for the back three. I know there's a couple of injuries in there. Hickway is still injured. I think... there are other injuries in that back three. Of course, McGuinness has gone back there. Hennigan, I believe, might be back. I don't entirely know on that. But I've gone with Flint there. Of course, the player they signed, the only player they signed in the January transfer window. He's going to play and probably start in the game because they haven't really got many other defensive options in there. Flint was the player they brought in. I would go with Flint in this game. It makes sense, really, when looking at the other options or the lack of other options. Iorfa and Palmer, for me, are fine. Absolutely fine. Some people might say, could you go the back four? We spoke about systems. I haven't really changed the system for either club, really. I've sort of gone with what I've seen the most of, and also what I think makes total sense for this game. I think matching them up with a five at the back makes perfect tactical sense when you look at not allowing an overload. I think you might as well match up with them, especially as it's a comfortable thing that both of these clubs do. Changing a system and a formation in particular for a specific game can be very, very dangerous. And the five at the back for both of these clubs, or three with a wing back, or a couple of wing backs, not one, that would be very helpful, is something that we've seen quite a lot of by both of these clubs throughout the season. And really, since Darren Moore and Stephen Schumacher came through the door. So I'd go with Flint, Iorfa and Palmer in that three there with Dawson. I think, again, Stockdale's an option, but Dawson has been that number one goalkeeper and done very, very well in recent weeks. Johnson and Hunt as the wing-backs. Again, pretty standard, really. Johnson does really, really well. Hunt as well. They used that role. Wouldn't change that. They are my number one choices. For the wing-backs, let's pick up the midfield. And like I say, Smith and Windass up front. Not a problem there. They are interchangeable. They can drop a little bit deeper. Smith can be that focal point, but also Windass in behind. And also his creative numbers are also really, really important as well. So creating opportunity for Smith could be really, really good. And I think quite crucial in this game. Like I say, we'll come on to subs actually all together after I've run through Plymouth. Cooper in goal. Again, I don't think anyone's got any complaints about Cooper in goal. What a goalkeeper. Wilson, Scar, and Nigel. There are options. There are other options. I know this lad here is it Gillespie? Sorry, mate. You just got names. I can't do names. I really, really can't. But he is also an option that can play as a left wing back, but also can play as a left centre back as well. So they have got different ideas there. My friend here that I can't say here, and also Nigel, they can swap round, basically, is what I'm saying there. I think there could be a couple of debates about that, but I've gone with Nigel. I think his numbers have been very, very good this season. Wilson, Scar, and Nigel. They make up a good back three. Edwards and Mumba. Now, again, could we have gone with more defensive options there? Mumba is quite attacking, so is Edwards. So, again, in this type of game, could that be a problem with Hunt and Johnson sort of playing and bombing down that left and right-hand side? That's going to be quite difficult to defend against, as a lot of clubs have realised this season. There are other options. I'd actually say Edwards is the more defensive compared to Wright, who, of course, signed this January as well. So I probably would go with Edwards. He's also very experienced as well. He's played in these type of games, some big games before. So I would go with him. I think is now. So I think his know-how in these type of games could be crucial. So I would go with Edwards in this one, and Mumba as well. I mean, no debate about Mumba, although I did say earlier, is he more attacking or too attacking in this game? It doesn't matter. He's very, very good. And he has got a brilliant work rate. He does track back. But they are more attacking wing-backs, you would say. And then Randall and Matete. Now, we spoke about the partnership being really important, and there are other options. Houghton can play in that role. Mayer potentially can. He's more of a number 10 that can play in the Azaz and Right role. But there are names in there. I've gone with Matete. I think he's tenacious, his work rate ability, or high level of work rate, and brilliant Matete. I think tenacious, attributes that he possesses could be really important. Could be really, really important. In this type of game where you're breaking up the play, breaking up the high press, I think if you go and press Volks, that could be quite interesting. Not ease the press, but I think he's the sort of player he's going to want to get the ball off that back three of Sheffield Wednesday. Press him early, get to him. That could be really, really good. Randall and Matete, quite similar really when it comes to the heat map. Randall a bit more deep lying, but again, Randall, you probably would say Randall's the number one name in the midfield, and then between Houghton and Matete. I've gone with Matete. I think his like I say, his energy he brings, his enthusiasm, could be the difference in the midfield and when winning that midfield battle. Also, as well, it's important to say, we speak about only 2 in there. Wright can drop a little bit deeper. Of course, he's the player I've gone with, and Azaz as well. I don't need to speak about Azaz for too much longer than I already have done. He is my player to watch. But I think I think he could be really good. I think he could be really, really good in this game. I think he's got that license in that number 10 role to drift out wide. He can drift out wide. But also, if he wants to, if they want to play compact, he can also play compact. And that is the beauty of having they're almost attacking midfielders, but quite wide attacking midfielders. They can play. I mean, they're not sort of touching the touchline, but they are sort of playing as that sort of double number 10 behind Ryan Hardie, who I've gone with up front. They have got other options as a striker. Wayne, of course, who they signed, Cosgrove, Ennis as well. So there are names there, and again, similar to Mayer, it's important to say he can play in the two other positions as well. I've seen actually Cosgrove play as a sort of a right or Azaz role. He is a little bit higher up normally if they go and do that. Could they go with Cosgrove and start? They have got, like I say, options in that position, which is a nice problem to have from a Stephen Schumacher point of view. I would go with Ryan Hardie, though. I know last couple of games of recording hasn't been as lightning when it comes to his ability and his goal-scoring ability and his record at the moment. His form a little bit on the low down last couple of games, but I still think in this type of game, he knows where the goal is. In behind, I think that could be where Plymouth could make a real impact. So that's what I've gone with. Like I say, I look at the options as well on either side. There are lots of attacking options, really, midfield options. I think Gregory, Patterson. Again, Patterson could be a really, really good shout. Unlucky not to make the side, to be honest with you. Patterson could easily make that starting 11, but I just feel that extra player. If we weren't going to play Volks, if he doesn't go with Volks, I wouldn't be surprised if we see this. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Windass play there. Volks could drop out. Or maybe Byers and Bannan aren't fully fit. I don't know. But I expect... so that's Gregory. I expect something like that. You can't see it because I've put Volks there. But that could be an option. And I think easily could do a really good job. And then I look at Plymouth as well. The options they've got. Houghton would be the other midfield option. I went with Matete really in quite a 50-50 hit. And then, of course, Cosgrove, Ennis, Wright, Wayne, and Mayer also attacking substitutes there can change the game. They could be really, really important. So that is the starting lineup that I've gone with. Let me know if I got that wrong, any changes you'd make. I'm intrigued. I really am. Let me know in the comment section down below. I really am intrigued to see what you've got to say and whether or not I've made any absolutely stinking options. I think I've done okay, but that's because I've done it. So feel free to criticise me all you like. Let's move on to my predictions for this game. So my prediction for this game, the bit you've all been waiting for, I think the home advantage could play a huge role. In fact, 43% of the time, the home side has come away with the 3 points in League One this season. So quite a substantial percentage of home wins there. It's cliche, but I think that extra set of fans could make that real difference. It's important to mention as well, Sheffield Wednesday have the second best home record compared to any other League One club this season. Their opposition Plymouth are currently leading the way on that one. As for Plymouth, they have drawn half of their games on the road this season. 7 from 14 is the official breakdown. So, my prediction, my score prediction for this game, you've all been waiting for it, and let me know your predictions in the comment section down below. Something's telling me, and I know I'm sitting on the fence, 1-1. I probably will go with 1-1. I think it will be a draw. I think it'll be quite high scoring. I think it'll be quite an entertaining game. It'll be tight, but I do expect an abundance of entertainment. There's enough players in both of those sides to make a real impact and make this quite an interesting game. If I was going to pick a winner, I'd probably edge towards Sheffield Wednesday based on them having a really, really good home record and the home advantage being really, really important this season for League One clubs. But saying that, Plymouth, I think we've got to be really careful. Don't write Plymouth off because we've done that really throughout the entirety of the season. And I mean, look at them. They're top of the league and doing an exceptional job. So it's really, really tight. My prediction, though, my official prediction, I would go with 1-1. Tough game for both, of course. But yeah, I'm going to go with that. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm intrigued to see what you've got to say, my lineups, my prediction, but generally your thoughts on the game. Please do leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this tactical but interesting, hopefully, preview for this game. Is it a title decider? Let me know also in the comments below. I've been Jack. This has been the Unfan Podcast. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all very, very soon. See you in a bit.